Meeting of the Harrisonville Board of Aldermen to order. If you would please stand and recite the pledge with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Franklin.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Mills.
Present.
Alderman Reese.
Present.
Alderman Milner.
Present.
Alderman Zaring.
Present.
Alderman Davidson. Alderman Dorhoff is excused. Mayor Bowman.
Present. Thank you. We do have a quorum. Good evening, everyone. I am taking things a little bit out of order on the agenda. I'm going to invite soon-to-be Captain Sirks and his family and his chief to come forward, please. Yes, sir.
Captain Sirks, part of the fire department, has been called on call.
Oh, shoot.
Hopefully he'll be back in time to.
Okay. All right. Then, if that being the case, I'm going to postpone the pinning ceremony until we see if he arrives. Do you want to do that?
Or we can do the firefighters.
All right, let's do the firefighters. Okay. If I could have, is there 4, I believe? 4 brand new firefighters who just recently joined the Harrisonville Fire Department. Would you come up, please, and join your chief?
Here they come.
The city of Harrisonville. Finally, I promise to follow the policies. Of the fire department. Uphold the laws of our state. Union. Nation. Ordinances of the city. And that I will faithfully discharge my duties to the best of my ability. Sweet. Heading Joseph Parrish will be his spouse, Katie.
No, that's all right. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Stab him.
As long as you don't stick it straight in. Nice. Pinning Matthew Watson, or Weston, Pamela? Camille. Pinning Jacob Meisen, Matt. It's his brother.
Let's be his brother. Looks like being his brother.
This here, right, one station. By the time I retired, we had 3 stations, 40-something guys, great retirement. You guys are starting in a good spot. I wish everybody luck. I wish it were in the cards for me to be here for a long time for you guys. But I'm always a phone call away. All right?
Fire Marshal Myler.
Just congratulations, guys. I mean, it's quite an honor. It's tradition of the department that this be done. We haven't done it for years like this, so we decided that it was going to be a good idea to do this. Just remember, old age comes early, okay? And always make sure you take care of yourself and take care of your brothers and your sisters.
It is an absolute honor to have you four here and to have you receiving your badges in this room. This is the appropriate place for firefighters and police to be pinned in council chambers in front of the public because it's a big deal. You guys have waited for a long time for those badges, and you've worked hard for them, and you've earned them. So it is our honor to welcome you to the city of Harrisonville and to the Harrisonville Fire Department. Board. I'd like to invite Captain Hyatt and Captain Nathan. Help me with your last name, Nathan. Davidson, thank you. And the rest of the firefighting team to come forward and be in a picture with all these new firefighters.
All right, that'll do it. All right, 1, 2, 3, take a couple. And one more. Thank you.
And to family and friends who are here to show your support, I want to say thank you on behalf of the city of Harrisonville for sharing your family members with us. Thank you all very much, and thanks for being here. I know it meant a lot to them.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you? Give them the honor they deserve.
All right, board. We'll let those folks file out. Isn't it exciting to be able to share in that with these firefighters? I am just thrilled. The next item on the agenda is the proclamation for the Mid-America Regional Council. There's no one here to actually receive the proclamation, but I will read it for the record, and City Clerk will mail it to them. This is declaring Mark 50 Forward Day. Whereas for half a century, local governments in the Kansas City region have come together through the Mid-America Council, MARC, to partner on regional initiatives and develop innovative solutions. And whereas the region consists of 9 counties and 119 cities, which benefit from working across boundaries in a wide variety of issues and coordinating with diverse disciplines and sectors, including cities, counties, nonprofit organizations, social services, educational systems, and special districts. And whereas the region's leaders engage in informed decision-making through insightful data analysis and participate in a problem-solving forum to positively impact progress. And whereas each jurisdiction and individual has a role in creating a strong regional community and enabling everyone to come together to achieve positive change for the next 50 years. And whereas MARC is an organization that promotes regional cooperation through leadership, planning, and action, and is guided by the core values of integrity, innovation, collaboration, diversity, and inclusion, excellence in performance, and service leadership. And whereas the city of Harrisonville has participated or benefited from working across boundaries, allowing us to better serve residents because of our regional work regarding public safety, transportation, environment, early learning, aging, and shared local government services. And now therefore be it resolved, members of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville celebrate the collaborative work that's been accomplished over the past 50 years and dedicate June 10th, 2022, the day of Mark's annual Regional Assembly, as Mark 50 Forward Day, in recognition of the enormous progress the region will continue to make over the next 5 decades. And be it further resolved, I, Judy Bowman, Mayor of Harrisonville, do hereby proclaim June 10th, 2022 as Mark 50 Forward Day in Harrisonville, and urge local leaders and community members to reflect on the great progress made in the past 50 years and join us in welcoming a future built upon strong regional collaboration, connections, relationships, and accomplishments. Signed, Judy Bowman, Mayor. All right. Moving on then to the agenda, we have public participation. Did we receive any agenda request forms this week? Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to approval of the minutes. The first are the minutes of the regular meeting, May 16th, 2022. You all had those in your packet. If you've had a chance to read them, if there are no corrections, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
I second.
I have a motion from Alderman Turner with a second from Alderman Franklin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. Those minutes stand approved as printed. The minutes from the work session, May 16th, 2022, again printed in your packet. If you have no corrections, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Reese with a second from Alderman Milner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Those minutes stand approved as printed. We'll remove the executive session minutes from the agenda tonight and put those on our next meeting since we have some aldermen that are attending remotely. Moving on to the agenda items. The first is Council Bill 32.
A resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, approving the reappointment of Bill Woods to the Historic Preservation Commission.
I've known Bill Woods for a number of years. He was one of the first volunteers with the police department on the VIPS program, and he has served faithfully on the Historic Preservation Commission for a number of years as well. So Ms. Stanton and I would like to bring a reappointment of Bill Woods to the Historic Preservation Commission for your consideration.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Zaring with a second from Alderman Milner. A roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Franklin,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Mills,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Zaring,
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, and Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 32 is approved and becomes Resolution R 2022-21. Council Bill 33.
A resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville to approve the special event request from the Harrisonville Community Church to host a block party on June 11th, 2022.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. Before you tonight is a request to close off the street to have a block party for the Harrisonville Community Church. This is the second year for the event. They're asking for the exact same thing as last year. Good event last year, no problems, no concerns. They have provided all the proper paperwork, and
I have a motion from Alderman Milner with a second from Alderman Franklin. A roll call, please.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Franklin,
Aye.
Alderman Mills,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Zaring,
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, and Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 34 is approved and becomes Resolution 2022-23. Council Bill 35.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville affirming the adoption of the 2040 Comprehensive Plan for the City of Harrisonville, Missouri.
So you know there were multiple public meetings and public input obtained from many groups over many months, and now Ms. Stanton is going to bring this request to you.
you. I'm going to kind of cover some of the same information I covered with P&Z. State statute states that the commission shall make and adopt the city plan, so it's the planning commission, for physical development of a municipality. And additionally, section 89.360 states that the commission may adopt the plan in whole or in pieces, which they adopted the plan in entirety at our last planning commission meeting. And it talked about before the adoption that this has to be advertised, local circulation 15 days. We did this in the South Cass Tribune on April 28th, so we exceeded that requirement. Additionally, Article 3, City Plan, Chapter 400 of Planning and Zoning Code of Ordinances states it's the duty of the Commission to make and adopt the comprehensive plan. This language very carefully mirrors that of the state. It does also state that a copy of the plan or parts thereof shall be certified to the Board of Aldermen and the city clerk, and a copy shall be recorded in the office of the County Recorder of Deeds, which will be done after tonight's meeting. And wanted to kind of conclude by saying that this has been before this body as well as the Planning Commission numerous times, previous discussions and meetings and town meetings, open houses. Again, we did the proper noticing, and we're recommending the approval of the 2040 comprehensive plan. That was before the Planning Commission. Reminder that I have to the Planning Commission, and I'll tell the board as well, we will be bringing this forward for review on a yearly basis to see what needs to be looked at, what needs to be updated. Our big task ahead of us after this is implementation. Greatly appreciate your efforts and your help and participation in the process.
Excellent. Any questions for Christina? Seeing no questions, this is an ordinance board.
Make a motion, we suspend the rules and pass the
To a second reading.
to the second reading.
Okay. Thank you.
Second?
I have a motion from Alderman Mills with a second from Alderman Milner to suspend the rule on Council Bill 35 and advance it to a second reading. A roll call, please.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson. And Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Second reading.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville affirming the adoption of the 2040 Comprehensive Plan for the City of Harrisonville, Missouri.
And a roll call, please.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson. Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 35 is approved and becomes ordinance 03585. Council Bill 36.
A resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to authorize the filing of an application with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Financial Assistance Center's state ARPA grant programs for subaward of federal financial assistance provided to the state of Missouri by the United States Department of the Treasury pursuant to Section 602B of the Social Security Act as adopted by Section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act, published March 11, 2021.
You did really well with it. That's quite a mouthful. Mr. Brooks.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Board of Aldermen. I didn't write the title of that resolution. I'm here tonight to ask you for permission to apply for millions of dollars in grants, not only for our wastewater, our water, our stormwater. There's even a new rule coming out from DNR that we have to do an inventory of all the lead in our lead service lines that run from our mains into the houses. So I'm just thankful that there's a grant for that as well. So we're going to apply for it. This, as the attorney said, this is all through the American Rescue Plan Act, the bill that President Biden passed a year ago in 2021. And And it's finally coming to fruition, and we've got a lot of projects specifically that we want to ask for permission to file these grants. The first and foremost is the South Service Sanitary Sewer Project. We've talked about this in the past. We've had it out. We did get a bid price last December, $6.4 million, and we only have $2.5 million in our budget. Currently, our budget is at $4.4 million to build the plant with our new engineer on board with us. The good news is when you add up all the construction costs, engineering costs, appraisal costs, easement acquisition costs, we're right at $6 million. And we can spend $1 and get $5 for this grant. It's a $5 million maximum grant. And we're gonna try our darndest, and with passage of this resolution tonight, this is really the last piece I need to submit the application, even though it's not due for another month. We want to get it in and be first in line.
You bet.
Another couple projects we've got on our sites is in our water master plan and rate study that we did a couple years ago. The engineer identified the new pump house at Lake Harrisonville and the raw water transmission main, another $10 million project. But we really don't have to contribute anything. When we kick in and give the $1 million for the South Sewer project, the maximum number of points we can get is the 20% match. It doesn't really do any good to say, oh yeah, we can give some more. So we can give $1, and that counts for something. And we're hopeful for that. That'd be great if we got something, get started on that a few years early. And the last group of projects is the stormwater projects. And again, it's another $5 million max. But the city can issue more than one project, up to $5 million. And again, we don't have to contribute anything, but we do have $100,000 in our budget that we could contribute if we, need to, if we think we need some more points. And I just want to point out, here just recently with last week's rains, and I showed some pictures in the weekly report of the flooding down at Lexington and Ash Street. Well, our city engineer has come up with a project. Let's raise Ash Street. And we could submit that as well. So again, this is just me asking permission for you all to give me permission to submit grants and ask for millions of dollars of money. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board for Mr. Brooks? We'd like to apply for grant money.
Yeah, I was just say go for it.
Especially millions.
Really? True.
Do you know how long it normally takes to process all of these, or?
Well, the grant process ends July 14th, and they told us basically you still have another 3 months to submit your engineering report to October 15th. So I would suspect they're not going to say anything until they reach that milestone. When I talk to residents that live along Brick Plant Road now, I'm telling them, this project is not until next spring or next summer. Because we probably won't know the outcome until late in the year or first part of 2023. But we're going to stay hopeful.
Yeah.
We have to. We got to get this job. We got to get that job done.
Right. Well, seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion then on Council Bill 36.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Franklin with a second from Alderman Turner. A roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Franklin,
Aye.
Alderman Mills,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Zaring,
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, and Alderman Dorhoff is excused. Thank you. Council Bill 36 is approved and becomes Resolution R 2022-24. And I want to correct, I misspoke on Council Bill 35 in giving you the ordinance number. The correct ordinance number for Council Bill 35 is 3585. All right, moving on then to Council Bill 37.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, amending Chapter 600 of the City of Harrisonville Municipal Code.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. This should be pretty straightforward. About a month and a half ago, we met in a work session to discuss changes to our liquor licenses. I told you that that would make it to a future meeting. It didn't happen as timely as it maybe should have, but this is a future meeting. So this is essentially to approve the changes that we had discussed in that April 18th work session. If anybody has any questions, we have not altered anything since we had that discussion, and I believe everyone was on board at that time, but I am still willing to answer any questions.
Board, do you have any questions for Mr. Barnett? All right, Council Bill 37 is an ordinance.
I make a
Make-
motion to suspend the rule and advance to a second reading.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Franklin with a second from Alderman Zaring to suspend the rule on Council Bill 37 and advance it to a second reading. By roll call, please.
Alderman Mills. Aye. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson is excused, and Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Second reading.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, amending Chapter 600 of the City of Harrisonville Municipal Code.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff is excused, and Alderman Davidson is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 37 is approved and becomes Ordinance 3586. Council Bill 38.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville authorizing and directing the City Administrator and the City Clerk of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri to execute documents in the name of and for and on behalf of the City of Harrisonville and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for installation of street lighting along Highway 291 beginning at Timber Drive and proceeding to Waters Road.
Mr. Pollard.
Mayor and Alderman, basically I'm here to execute a document that's required by the Missouri Department of Transportation in order for us to install the street lighting from Timber Drive all the way out to Waters Road that was previously paid for by the TDD. So any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. This was just something that was overlooked evidently in prior application for these lights.
Questions for Andy? Seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion for this ordinance.
I make a motion we suspend the rules, move Council Bill 38 to a second reading.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Turner with a second from Alderman Milner to suspend the rule on Council Bill 38 and advance it to a second reading. By roll call, please.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson is excused. Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Second reading.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville authorizing and directing the City Administrator and the City Clerk of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri to execute documents in the name of and for and on behalf of the City of Harrisonville and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for installation of street lighting along Highway 291 beginning at Timber Drive and proceeding to Waters Road.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff is excused. Alderman Davidson is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 38 is approved and becomes Ordinance 3587. I'm going to move on and catch this very last council bill, and I've just been advised that Zach Sirks is in the building, so I'm going to finish this last agenda item, and then I'll ask him to step forward. So Council Bill 39, please.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville to approve the final plat of Burris Ridge, third plat, containing Block 1 located north of Burris Drive along Marvin Court and Block 2 located east of the existing Richmond Drive and along Ladies Lane in the City of Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri.
You're busy tonight, Ms. Stanton.
Just a few things. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is the final plat for the 15 lots that were conditionally approved as a preliminary plat on March 17th earlier this year. This plat contains lots that were before the Planning and Zoning Commission on April 21st and the Board of Aldermen on May 2nd, respectively, to be rezoned from RP2 to RP1. So we got that cleanup done, and now getting the plating piece finished. Conditions from the preliminary plat have been met, and staff find that the final plat is acceptable and in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan.
Perfect. Perfect. Questions from the board for Ms. Stanton? I think the board's familiar with this, so. If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion on this ordinance.
I make a motion to move Council Bill 39 to a second reading.
Second?
I have a motion from Alderman Milner with a second from Alderman Reese to suspend the rule on Council Bill 39 and advance it to a second reading. A roll call, please.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson is excused. Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Second reading.
An ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville to approve the final plat of Burris Ridge, 3rd plat, containing Block 1 located north of Burris Drive along Marvin Court and Block 2 located east of existing Richmond Drive and along Ladies Lane in the City of Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri.
And another roll call, please.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Franklin.
Aye.
Alderman Mills.
Aye.
Alderman Zaring.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson is excused. Alderman Dorhoff is excused.
Thank you. Council Bill 39 is approved and becomes ordinance 3588. I'm going to step away from the dais and meet soon-to-be Captain Zerks down here on the floor. So I hear you got a call. Yes. Is family members here? Sarah? Your girl?
I, Zach Search, do solemnly swear that I will serve the citizens of Harrisonville, and also the citizens of Harrisonville, and the firefighters of Harrisonville Fire Department, and the firefighters of Harrisonville Fire Department, with honor and integrity. I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of our city charter and ordinances. That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the rank of captain. Discharge the duties of the rank of captain. To the best of my judgment. Abilities. So help me God.
Sarah, I want to thank you for sharing your husband with us. I know that you've shared him with a lot of different fire departments, and we're honored to have him be with the Harrisonville Fire Department right now. Captain Zerks, I know that Harrisonville Fire Department has been through some things here of recent days, but you're bringing leadership to us that we want, we need, and we appreciate. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. Anything you want to say about this young man?
This was not a give me promotion, right? Zach tested in front of chiefs from all over the metro area through a written process, a skills process, and interviews. And he really showed his mettle in the things. I look forward to working with you. Congratulations.
I've known Zach when we were just running the ambulance together, and never did I ever thought that he would be in this position at all. Okay? No, and when he came to the department full time for us, he was telling me about all this certification he got to the Air Force, and it surprised me, and that nobody had ever taken advantage of having him as an employee for them. Congratulations.
All right, the floor is open to any of your coworkers. Anybody have a word to say about this young man? Sarah, do you have anything you want to say about your husband? All right, let's give him another round of applause. All right, gather around for a photo one more time.
Notice if I switch chairs with him. Yes, I do.
All right, everybody right here. 1, 2, 3, and there you go.
Gotta go. Check base. I don't know any legal authority we have.
Oh, we are? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know we were recording.
All right.
You should yell loud.
Thank you, Board. I think that's just a real honor to be able to celebrate that with Captain Sirks. Moving on to Alderman and Committee reports. Alderman Mills.
Oh. I had a couple notes here. You know, in our weekly meeting, it pointed out, you know, the results, or the Board of Building and Engineers of Appeals met. And in the meeting this morning, Eric made a comment about that, you know, with our judge and our codes, and now with this appeals board, that it's never functioned before, in my knowledge, in the city. And we're just making a lot of headway there. And yeah, and then if we can ever get it changed so the judge can bring those guys back into court. But it's really functioning. It's really functioning. And then I announced that the DMV closed Friday, and with social media, I think everybody already knows. But yeah, unfortunately for this community, I think the License Bureau no longer exists, and right now I don't know how hard the state is working on replacing that. So it will be a loss, I think. We've always had a License Bureau in the city and in the county.
And hopefully people can regroup and can, you know, reopen that. So.
Right, right.
All right, thank you. Alderman Turner.
Nothing.
Okay. Alderman Milner.
You know, I was just thrilled to be at the pool earlier for the ribbon cutting and see how many people we had there, and just watching social media, which sometimes we don't like to do, but this time it was for the good because everybody seems to really be enjoying it. Grant, good job.
Absolutely. Kudos to you, Grant. Yeah. Alderman Franklin.
This past weekend was our first farmers market on Saturday, and it was well attended. We had some good vendors out there and braved some of the weather. We were kind of iffy about that. We ended up canceling the block party, and we have rescheduled it for Saturday, August the 6th, and we will be having bands and food and lots of games for the kiddos, so we hope to see you there. And then the Park Board and Rex is going to host a thank you luncheon for all of the people who have put forth so much effort and in their time and their talents and their treasures for the Marlar Work Park. And we are holding that on Friday, June 17th. It's going to be from 11:30 to 1:30. We're asking that invitations have been handed out, people have been contacted, so we're asking that you come out and have a great lunch. Grant is doing some of the barbecuing, my husband is doing the other barbecuing, and the Park Board is going to be supplying all the side dishes and the desserts. So we would love to have everybody out there and show our appreciation for everything that was done for the Marlowort Park. And on the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Grant took the members of the park board around and did a tour of the pool before it opened on Saturday. And even though the water was a chilly 66 degrees, there were kids that showed up. We're ready to jump in there. So anyway, it was good. And then tonight, like you said, we had the ribbon cutting, so it was fun, and it's great to see all the kids out there. And that water bucket is a big hit with everybody. They really enjoy that. So anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you. Alderman Reese.
Yeah, just a quick catch up on the dog park, my favorite subject, of course. When the dog park was originally designed, our mission was to not only have a place for the dogs to come and run and play and get their exercise out, but it was also a place to put people together to learn to know one another in different groups coming together, which certainly it has. If you watch any place on social media, you will find that there are more and more and more people coming out to the dog park. There were 25 or 30, I've kind of forgotten, at one time last week, which is a lot of dogs, people, to put in one spot. We feel like, as a group, that we have accomplished a great deal of what we set out to do, which was to take care of the dogs and take care of the people. We are hoping, of course, to finish it up with some other touches, and we tried really hard, and we tried a grant and it didn't go through, so we're going to try again. And, but other than doing what do you call that thing, the shelters in each place for people to be able to sit and gather. That's what we're working on next, and so I'm sure you'll be hearing a little bit about that later. But I just want everybody to know that it's almost mission accomplished on that project, and everybody should really be proud of that, because it was done by private citizens. One very important prize, he's got his name on that one, and he deserves it. So just sort of an all over, that's what we're doing, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Alderman Zaring.
I have nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. Thank you for being with us this evening. City Administrator Ratliff, what do you got for us?
Household hazardous waste disposal, June 18th. The City Lake and Dam Spillway Rehabilitation Project. Contractor's been working on the road, base asphalt, putting asphalt street, overlay surface on those areas, and seeding. They've been trying to do that between all the raindrops. And so our hope is, and I get asked this question a lot, when will the park be completely open? I always tell them by the 4th of July, but it'll hopefully be open a lot sooner than that. Additionally, the James Street Blueberry Sanitary Sewer Project, notice to award to DAHC Construction. The outdoor pool, as was pointed out with the outdoor pool, there are a few check-off lists that they're going to have to come. The contractor will come back after Labor Day to deal with and to correct. Some of the people have asked about the orange fence that's up there. There is sod planned for that, but it's been so wet they can't cut the sod to be able to bring the sod in. And so once we get some cooperation from Mother Nature, that'll move a little bit quicker for that as well. Then the Osmosis that went through town has completed their project. That's what's looking at all the electric poles, metering, and that's back to Osage. We're waiting on them to get their engineering report, and once that's completed, we'll have more information to bring back to you all on what the city and Osage would do in a partnership of working together on those things. 5 new housing permits were issued, or building permit applications. Single-family homes up to 31 so far. That, if you all recall, last year there was 34 combined, so we're already at 31. And so we should surpass that for this year. And we've done valuation work of $29.9 million so far this year, and last year was for the whole year at 31 million. So we're almost, we've reached halfway through the year, and we're already meeting what the whole year was on valuation from last year. And just to piggyback on the DMV talk, the city has no ownership, ability, controlled anything with the DMV. There's a lot of people that think the city controls everything from the President of the United States all the way down, but we do not, and we don't have any control over that as well. However, we agree with Alderman Mills that it's a shame that the state allowed that to get to this point, and hopefully they will work with someone to get something back open in our community. With that, Madam Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Questions from the media? Nothing, Dennis? Okay, thank you. All right, my comments for the evening, I just really want to step back and acknowledge staff. You know, it is staff who enables us to do what we do up here. And in particular, at the forefront of our minds this evening is the outdoor pool. And I know that people were upset with us when we made the difficult decision to not open the pool. And I'm pleased that we have now a new safe pool for children and families to enjoy, with a lot of different amenities that we never had in the old pool. And we were out there this evening for the ribbon cutting, and I don't know how many kids and adults were out there, but it was packed. And it's not even hot swimming weather yet. But I talked to several of those little kiddos, and I said, "Do you like this pool?" And they went, "Yeah, we really like it." And I said, "Well, what's your favorite part?" Well, most of them, the favorite part was the bucket. So good job installing the bucket. I did talk to one girl who said, "I've been here every day since it opened, and I've been on every feature that the pool has." And she said, "I love this place." So Grant, for you, for your staff, for other departments whose staffs also helped get this done, Mr. Ratliff, board, you know, you all made the difficult decisions. You made a good decision along with the park board in funding the improvements in the pool, and you made the difficult decision to close the pool in order to be able to get these things done. So I commend the board, I commend staff, and I'm just thrilled that Harrisonville families and children now have this wonderful, wonderful place to enjoy and to spend, you know, their free time. So with that, board, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion from Alderman Franklin to adjourn.
Second.
And a second from Alderman Zering. And Alderman Milner.
I make a motion to adjourn to executive session pursuant to RSMO 610.0212, leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate by a public governmental body where public knowledge of the transaction might adversely affect the legal consideration therefore.
I think they're discussing that.
Up to you.
Usually we go into work session next.
Yeah.
So, all right, so the motion is to adjourn, and we have a motion from Alderman Franklin with a second from somebody. Zering, okay. All in favor of adjournment to work session, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. We're adjourned to work session. About 5 minutes, we'll come back and hit this agenda.
I'll let you know that.
Well, I did.